For my American Author project, I chose Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was born as a slave in Talbot County, Maryland, 1818. At the age of 10, he was transferred to a new family where he learned to read and write from his master's wife. Approximately 10 years later, he runs away and obtains his freedom with the help of a lady named Anna Murray. This very same woman he marries on September 15th of that same year. He starts a family of 5 children with her and lives a happy life until he dies in the year 1895 of a fatal heart attack. Douglass wrote 3 major autobiographies to depict his life as a slave, each one containing more details than the last. Those include Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave, My Bondage, My Freedom, and Life in the Times of Frederick Douglass. He wrote several abolitionist papers, but he's most known for the newspaper he started called the North Star. In his book, My Bondage, My Freedom, he says, quote, "Men in their senses do not take bowie knives to kill mosquitoes, nor pistols to shoot flies, and the American passengers who thought proper to get up a mob to silence me on board the Cambria took the most effective method of telling the British public that I had something to say." Frederick Douglass lived in 3 major eras. In the antebellum era, he gave speeches on the evils of slavery and why it should be abolished. In the Civil War era, he gave speeches on why blacks should join the U.S. military and fight the Confederacy. In the Reconstruction era, Frederick Douglass fought on issues of the civil rights movement, including equal treatment of blacks and women. The antebellum era had the most effect on Douglass's writing. He wrote his first 2 autobiographies during this era in order to combat the issue of slavery. He used his own self-experiences to show how cruel slavery could actually be. He did this to persuade people to make attempts to reform and to abolish the institution of slavery. Many historical events can be traced to Douglass's writing. Those include the Fugitive Slave Act, the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation, Civil War amendments, and various black codes. You should read Douglass's writing because he tells an in-depth detail of what it was like to be a slave. He is also a great example of how to use rhetoric not only as a writer, but also as a speaker. Though another reason to read his writing is that he employs great Christian philosophies in order to argue his point against slavery. Douglass's legacy lives on today through the works he created. He provided history, a testimony of what it was like to live as a slave. His dream of all humans, black and white, men and women, to be treated equal still lives on and is a goal for today. But his legacy of hope is a thing that people still look to. He showed how anyone could become educated and be capable of great things as long as they strive for it, and that is inspiring people still today. Some fun facts about Douglass is that he doesn't know when his actual birthday was, so he celebrates his birthday on February 14th. But he was also the first African American to appear on the presidential ballot when he ran as vice president to Victoria Woodhull, who was the first woman to run for president.